Hello everybody, welcome back to the Advanced Vape channel. So today we're going to be building on the MORADIN RTA. That's this right here. I apologize, there's still a little bit of water in there. I couldn't get this tank apart while I was cleaning it. I'm not sure that it comes apart, but if it does, it's very hard to get apart and I didn't want to break it. So there's still a little bit of water in there, but I think it'll be okay. Just real quick, I'll show you the packaging. And I'm going to try to read the back of this without laughing. ICLOUDCIG spend plenty of time in the development of revolutionary products until we have reached every wonderful ideas. We hope to find us and the whole industry by subversive products. ICLOUDCIG, we are on the way. So, pretty standard bad translation there. My biggest recommendation to all of these companies like this one, ICLOUDCIG and OBS, and even Geek Vape does it a little bit, but they're a lot better about it. Get a native English speaker to write this. I will write you a paragraph if you're watching this, ICLOUDCIG. I will write a paragraph that makes more sense than this for you for free, because it makes the product seem bad, and it's not bad. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's my rant done. We're going to move on to the tank. I'm going to take it off so we can take it apart here and look at it. So one of the main things about this tank is that it has a ceramic chamber. Not ceramic coils, but a ceramic chamber on the inside, and that's supposed to improve the flavor or something like that. So you see the top and inside the chimney there is all ceramic. Same with around the bottom there. And it's a two-post, two-hole design, which I'm not a big fan of because that means both coils have to share these post holes. I would much prefer an actual velocity style deck with 2 holes per post. But I've built on this once before. It wasn't too big of a deal, so you know, I can look past that. It's not the best, but I'll look past it. Pretty simple top fill. Just unscrew the drip tip here. And you got your top fill. Because the drip tip is the top cap there, you can't use your own drip tip. But this is a nice wide Delrin tip, and I haven't had any problems using this one, so not a huge con to me, but that would be a big con to some people who really like to use their own drip tips. So we're going to go in and do a build on this today. Throw it on here. We're going to do 28 Clapton in there. This is a small build deck, as you can see, actually really small. And so we're a little bit limited on the builds that we do. I'm going to be doing 2.5mm diameter, and that's really pushing it to the limit on this. 3mm is just not going to happen. I tried it and it didn't work for me. Maybe with round wire, but not with the kind of wire we're using. We're going with 28 core 32 wrap Clapton, stainless steel. And I'm going to do 6 wraps. Like I said, on a 2.5mm. Okay, so I'm going to try and leave these legs kind of long if I can. I'm going to look and see what it looks like. I may be able to trim down the first one, and maybe not have to pre-trim the second one, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes once I actually start putting it in there. This uses Phillips head screws in there. It's another thing that I really don't like. The Phillips head screws strip way too easily. Not a big fan of them. Especially this small of a size. I would much rather have slotted screws, like a flat screw drive in there, or a grub. I'm going to bring it right up as close as I can. And I don't think I'll be able to put the other side in and snip off the legs without accidentally, or it being really difficult to not clip the legs of the ones that are already in there. So I'm going to go on and pre-trim these. It's kind of why I'm not a big fan of two-post decks that only have 2 holes. Okay, we'll see if we can get this in there if I just trimmed it too short. No, I got it in there, okay. Alright, I'm going to hold them in place while I tighten it down. That right there, that little jump that my screwdriver just did, that's why I don't like Phillips head screws. As soon as it starts to tighten down, it starts to jump out, and that's how it gets stripped. I don't have to worry about it touching the airflow because that's ceramic, so it's not going to short. Although I still tend to have it just ever so slightly above there, if I can. That's quite a bit above there. Yeah, maybe just like that. That looks good to me. Okay, so we're going to zoom on in for our dry firing. And we're ready to go. I fire really gently on this type of coil. Not hard at all. It's a 28 core, so it's a small wire. Doesn't need a crazy amount of heat. So if you can see here, I kind of lost this last wrap when installing it. Kind of the same there too. So this is actually kind of like 5. Try and squeeze it back together. There we go. And I'm just brushing it really lightly. And we'll go on and speed up and get this finished. Okay, so those aren't perfect, but I think they're close enough. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's not absolutely perfect, but they look good. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and we'll go on to wicking. I'm going to be using just a little tiny bit of wick today, not much at all. And this is actually one of the easier tanks to wick. All right, that's it. I'm going to cut it at right about there. So not very long at all. That's how I did it on my first build with this, and it turned out pretty great. And then all you do is just kind of tuck it down into those little channels that you got. I'm actually going to cut a little bit more off here. Gonna clean up our work just a little bit. Alright, and that's it. Not particularly hard to wick. Haven't got any dry hits or leaking. Let's go on and juice it up. I'm going to blow all this little excess off of there. Right now I'm using a juice that's 70-30, so not super thick. But it's an apple cider flavor that I really like. So although I usually use Max VG, I occasionally go to 70-30 or there's even a couple 60-40 juices that I like, but that's pretty much as low as I go. Now we need to double check there's no short. And it looks like we're looking good. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the juice flow control on this. It's kind of married to the airflow. As you can see, I have it closed right now, and I just pull it down and now it's open. And I can control the airflow and the juice with that ring. I can turn it if I can. It's a little hard to turn it to close or open the airflow. So right now it's wide open. And then raise this ring up. It's a little hard to do. Okay, so now the juice flow is closed again. Let me wipe the juice off my fingers. Okay, so with the juice flow closed, we can refill it. All right, let's take it off here and try it out. Get it cleaned up a little bit first. Okay, so as you can see, I opened up the juice flow and it's flowing in. And we'll just double check we're getting the same reading. Looks good. Turn it down just a little bit. All right, let's try it out. Really strong flavor. This is kind of a flavor tank. So although I do have some things that I'm not really a big fan of, I don't like the post system. I think that there's a better way they could have designed that if it was an actual velocity style deck. Don't like the screws. I'm always going to pick grub screws or slotted over Phillips head. Build deck is pretty small. And, you know, I'm not convinced that the ceramic chamber in there is what gives it really good flavor. It could just be because it's a small chamber, and small chambers have good flavor. All in all, though, it's a good tank. I like the juice flow control. It seems to work well. I haven't had any issues with leaking or dry hits. It just kind of feeds well. It's easy to wick. So not the easiest to build on, but it's just one of those smaller tanks, sort of like a Goblin Mini or the Moonshot or something. They're just not that easy to use, not that easy to build on. But once you have it set up, it's great. Gives good flavor, easy to keep refilling, that kind of thing. My biggest advice for this tank is to change those screws if they're, you know, making a V2 or whatever. Change those screws. Maybe add in a velocity style deck, but you know, that kind of changes the design of it. And get somebody that is a natural, you know, native English speaker to write the stuff on this. And that goes for a lot of different brands, not just this one. It's just the little things like that, and they all add up. Overall, I think it's a good tank. It performs pretty well. I would have no problem continuing to use this tank. You know, there's nothing in there in building with it or whatever that's just so bad that I don't want to use it. And the flavor is good enough that it can kind of hold its own against the Ilaria and the Griffin and the other stuff that I've been using lately. So all in all, I'm happy with it, and it's not expensive. So if you're into something small like this and you want just a small flavor kind of tank, it's a good choice. That'll bring us to the end of this video, and we're going to keep on bringing out more reviews. We've got a review for the Conqueror coming up. I really like this tank. I'm excited to do a review for it. I'm really happy with it. And we've got some other stuff coming up that I talked about briefly on the giveaway video. So if you like this video, give us a like and comment and subscribe to our channel, and we're going to keep on coming out with more reviews and more build videos.